No, you're not. Hello, welcome to another weekly episode of the Beer Fridge Podcast. On this week's episode, we go on our travels.
Real beer, real breweries, real opinions. The Beer Fridge Podcast.
Yes, and welcome along to the Beer Fridge Podcast, your home real beer, real breweries, real opinions, your official, with all the metrics included, #1 beer podcast. As always, if you listen and watch, make sure you subscribe and hit that ding-a-ling to be notified of every single episode. You can show your support by giving us a 5-star rating. Show your official by going to patreon.com/beer fridge podcast. My name's Gavin, drinking friends in the form of Scott and MD. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Right, let's see what we are drinking because we've got some absolute bangers.
Let's go around the table.
I believe you two are still on the same, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Going in. Oh, look at that.
Oi, oi.
Yeah, that little. Oh, you got a wee dinky. Oh,
Yeah, I've got my wee tiny tankard. Fits a whole can perfectly. When you're on the smaller cans,
what is the?
I'll begin. You can finish off with your tasting notes. So I am having thankfully procured, gratefully procured for me, by the big man himself, some Sierra Nevada. So when I saw it had appeared on the Cascade Club, it used to be called. I think it's just Sierra Nevada's UK web shop now. But saw that it had appeared that they had the small cans. Haven't seen it online of the pills. To ask my friend as I was leaving the country for a bit, can you please place an order and I'll square you away? Which I've not done, but I'll buy them back. So we picked up some of this, thankfully. When he dropped it off, he said, I've already had a case of this, so that tells you how good it is, I suppose.
Yep.
It's their craft lager, premium craft lager. It's 4.7%, made by the geniuses at Sierra Nevada. As I say, it's kind of, there's spiel on the back, which I'll not read verbatim, but it's basically based on European pub beer, which in Spain would be a cana. In any other European country, they drink their beer small because, particularly at the moment, it's likely to fucking evaporate. Regardless of what size it is before you get it to your lips anyway. It's so warm, but it's designed obviously so that you have a smaller volume, it then is colder, you keep it cold for longer, and you can obviously refresh by purchasing or procuring another one from your refrigerator. It's really excellent. It's got that wee bit extra bite to it. I think that it kind of, somebody who knows what they're doing with hops properly kind of gains. It's got that ever so slight haze to it, but it's straw coloured, just got that right amount of carbonation, really crisp, very Moorish. Cans are too small, as is their argument when it comes to the small beers you get in Europe, so it does exactly as intended, and it just means you have to have a full case available to you at all times.
Indeed. Any additions there, MD?
It's just an incredible, it is craft. I've got to admit, there is a bit of hoppiness to it. There's a lovely bitterness to it from it being like a proper traditional pills, like the typical Sierra Nevada stuff. Like say when you read into it, they're talking about the shipped German copper over so they can brew it properly and all that kind of stuff. It reminds me of drinking beer in Europe that's got a bit of flavour to it, but it's fresh. It's just so drinkable. Do you know what I mean? And I said that when we spoke about it last week, the week before, whenever it was, and I was like, the annoyance is the cans are too wee, but the genius is that the cans are small. They are genius because they are so quaffable. You can't, like you say, you can tan them pretty quickly, and I know responsible drinking and all that kind of stuff. But like for a barbecue beer, not you know what I mean. When you're sitting having a blether and all the rest of it, it's like two, three mouthfuls, and it'll be gone. And you're getting it when it's cold and it's when it's at its best and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's awesome.
You never ever reach that point whereby it gets warm to the point whereby you're like, I'll just let me finish this so I can go and get a new one, because you've already finished it and you've got a new one that's cold. So there's a lot of merit behind it. As long as you're not having to like fight through a bar that's 8 deep, and someday a decent, competent bar person who knows what they're doing can see that you're getting towards the end and just brings you a new one anyway. As kind of European bar staff kind of know and tend to do, you're kind of well looked after a lot of the time. I've not got a problem with drinking the smaller beers if you know that there's going to be a refresh, unless of course with the sole exception that is if it's absolutely roasting and you know it's the first one.
Aye.
And it's not going to last long enough to get warm.
Well, with that in mind, that was my second beer at the festival at the weekend, only because it was the second place we walked past. First was Polana, it was for one, and then straight to Sierra Nevada, and it was a Pils right off the bat. They both did not last long. Woof, right then, but it's quality. It's very good beer. And I am on, and I need to thank Lottie for this, because she just went mental and filled my bag up to a point where it was almost impossible to bring it home. And the bag started to rip, but I am on.
Oh, what a beer!
Allagash
What
White.
a beer, right? I say.
Aye, wit a beer. Belgium style wit beer, 5.2%. We had it when we were at the Brewers Association stand. It was obviously the first choice. It's ridiculous, and then I've poured it into my lovely gun tanker. It is just so good, so good, so good. There's nothing else that needs to be said about this beer apart from, if you've not tried it, get it on your bucket list of beers to try, because it's a star fucking phenomenal.
It's not overly if you like. I'm going to say it's not overly wheaty, but for the folk that aren't keen on a wheat beer, like, you know, beer like I think the white can sometimes, like, people can kind of get torn away from it. However, I think the Allagash White leans really into that wheat beer vibe, where it is orangey. It's got the coriander in it.
Yeah.
It's not as like punch in the face like Weiss beer, like, and it is really like, it's just palatable. Like having pints of it when I was in San Fran, I was like, when I seen it on I was like, I need to try this on draft, and it was like,
were you in San Francisco? Were you?
I was actually, I was
fucking
recently.
Mark Palin.
I know.
Oh, I listened to it, fucking Scotty Travels in there. Get what I mean?
Period, just as bad at each other. Callum's obviously he plans to join us at some point this evening, but I didn't want him to miss out in the what you're drinking. So we've got what he was drinking at the Kernel. This is after.
God,
it's fine. It's safe.
This beer is the second beer that I've ordered, and it is the Export Stout London 1840, and it is the 2019 vintage, barrel aged in cognac and red wine barrels. And my goodness me, this beer it smells luscious, chocolate, dried fruit, you know, prunes and raisins and chocolate, but on the palate it's really zippy, and the tannin for the red wine barrel, it's just absolutely special. 9%, but I mean come on, it's absolutely phenomenal beer.
See, one thing I noticed, he gives better beer reviews when he's pissed.
Oh, that was because he's gone. He thinks he's fucking Oz Clark. That's right. That's his spirit animal when he's had a couple. That's his Oz Clark. But I see what he means. But by the way, you're lucky you didn't get punched in the cooking there. There's some serious gestures going on.
No, I know. He was throwing them about. The hands were I'm surprised the fingers never came out. They probably did. I
That was
missed it at some
very,
point.
very emotive.
It very was. Right. Let's see what is new in the craft beer world.
News update.
Right, no surprise that obviously, well, we all know about the World Cup that's been and gone, and there is no surprise that the Scottish market are trying to take advantage of the kind of beer boom and the travels to Boston. So much so that the online seller Beer Hunter has sourced and brought over some Samuel Adams from Boston to give the Tartan Army the nostalgia of being back in Boston and watching us get our arse kicked. That feels like a unforgettable memory, and how we love to replay it in our head. So, see, the thing I'm scared of is no scared. The Americans clearly think that's how we act all the time in kilts, and we're always chanting all the time, and no Scotland, no party. Nope, we're not.
No, a bunch of grumpy bastards. Can you imagine when they land in Glasgow for the first time and somebody's like,
I've got a
they're
few
like,
yanks.
oh, aye, exactly. They start, there's all the tartan or whatever, and they'll be like, fuck you, you mutt, whack, just drops them.
They're going to be
Fuck you. Fucking awesome.
away back and play Rangers, you prick. So, they're in for a bit of a shock with that. So, yes, if you want your Samuel Adams hit and a reminder of what happened in Boston, then you can.
Aye.
I mean,
Sam Adams isn't a bad beer, to be fair. Like, drank plenty over the years. It's quite malty for lager, which I'm surprised but the Scots that were over there that are used to drinking the pishy Tennants or whatever it is, Sam Adams has got a bit of weight behind it. So
It does. I mean, when you compare it to the other domestics in the US, I would say it's the best of a bad bunch. Like it's a million times better than Budweiser. I've got a total soft spot for both PBR and.
I was going to say, I knew you were going to say PBR.
My ultimate number one though is Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
That's an absolute travesty.
Miller High Life, which is tremendous, and I'll never hear a bad word spoken about it. But Sam Adams is pretty good. It's good.
Where were we at that you got a fucking PBR?
Sneaky Pete's. Was it Sneaky
That was
Pete's?
it.
Is it? We went to
Was
see
I?
the
'Cause
Scottish band.
You had a. So instead of us drinking Cold Town, who was on draft, or we did have a Cold Town first, and it was pretty terrible. We had a wee swatch at the fridge, and he ends up with a PPR, and I ended up with a Superbock in cans, and we got stuck in.
Yes. Any bits of news you guys want to shout out, or do you just want straight up radar?
The only thing I want to shout is I'm getting fed up. That's news because of it's a new style. These styles of beer are becoming, but it's more Mark rants. So I'm getting fed up of these. Like we've seen the strawberries and cream lager pish for Stella. We've seen the fucking this orange number for Cruz Campo, the Seville orange beer as well.
El Carling.
And I'm just like I just want to stay in your lane, and I get it, the fruit beer market, Jubel's going off its nut and all the rest of it, but go and just let somebody else do something really well and let them, rather than dipping your toe into trying to make something that, from my opinion, is just pure pish, to be completely honest. I seen the Seville Orange Cruz Campo one today, and it just boiled my piss a wee bit. I was like, another Heineken bullshit spin-off to try and... Anyway, so that's my rant.
Inside Dickinson.
There you go.
Cheers.
Anything for yourself, Gilroy?
I don't know if I can do anything with that.
Neither do I.
Believe it, I'm not a big fan of the fucking. One, it's the flavoured, but also it's just repackaged UK muck. Like,
Yeah.
be different if it was the guys at Cruz Campo and Seville or whatever were actually, or just outside, we're just trying to do something properly, but it's not. Just go to bigger, large stores and get yourself a big bottle of Dab.
Dab.
Dunno.
Dab.
Dab this.
Dab.
Tremendous.
Beer Radar.
Right then, dab this indeed. Kick off with a collaboration between Brew York and Green Gold called Pale Aton. 5.2% collaboration between the two breweries, described as a European IPA inspired by four-time Tour de France champion Tadej Bukhara. It's bursting with tropical fruit, bright citrus, zesty grapefruit balance with a subtle marmalade sweetness.
Sweet.
enough. Sweet.
Sweetness, indeed.
Don't mind that. I was
Don't mind that. Oh, there you go. Hello. Bristol Beer Factory, Outer Banks 4.4% session IPA. As a one-of-a-kind brew, it's been hopped with Brew One, Australia Elite Trial HBA 65. Expect a snap of pineapple spice undertone and a bright tropical finish. Cool can.
That's quite a smart can design, but put HB, whatever the fuck it is, in something that's 6.5% immediately.
Aye, wasn't it like session
No.
just
But-
did it.
The Australians must think that's an absolute waste.
I agree. So the
Yeah, experimental hop.
Aye.
new hop, cool can, shit style of beer.
Roger.
Fucking tragic execution.
Thornbridge Midwest 5.5%. US inspired twist on a classic German Weissbier, brewed with a cleaner yeast strain and amplified hop character. We have used New World hops to bring a vibrant note of mango orange to the forefront, creating a bright fruity profile. Nelson Sauvin and Mosaic also added to the beer.
So
Too hoppy for a Weiss beer.
I'll tell you the words. I was like, so what is it?
No, nobody knows.
I'll tell you what it is now. It's a hazy IPA.
What is it? Like, no.
And then,
I'll be open to try that one. That's the winner so far.
well, here's the one that's at the bottom of the list. Northern Monk have done one of their usual weird things.
Fab.
Yep. We've brewed a strawberry lolly pale at 5%. That's a word. Called Ace. And it is Ace, a fruity, sweet, and chocolatey pale ale. Doesn't make any sense. Bursting with summer nostalgia. It's a twist on a certain fabulous choice of ice cream.
We've obviously not had the permission to use the Fab logo. Exactly.
And you'd shock horror, Aunt Bessie's doesn't own Fab. So
No.
No, maybe not.
the guys at Nestle or whoever it is that have Fab.
The old cease and
So-
desist of it.
And deedly do. So, a mixed bag. I mean, I don't even know what one I would be open to try. Potentially the Brew York one. Like, only reason being for the other brewery and not being Brew York, the Golden Green or whatever they're called, Golden. Well, I can't remember. Green Gold.
Green Gold.
That's the one.
Where are
Yeah.
Green Gold based?
I think it's Poland or something like that.
Aye, I was going to say, is it Green
So-
Gold?
That's the only reason I would try it, to try something they've had a fucking go at, or a helping in, I should say. Right. We have been on numerous travels. Myself and Cal,
Slovenia.
London.
Sorry, I had
Okay.
to get that right. It's Slovenia. I had to, because the fucking what's his
Aggregators.
face? The Slovenian nation would have been against us. They would have come out gunning. Probably gunning for us.
Strong
on
chance.
that
actually.
Polish and saying just insert Central Europe country here. But it's Green Gold are based in Slovenia. There you go.
Before I get to talking about our various travels, obviously did some kind of personal digging, ego boosting about the podcast. How do we feel about actually being on all metrics? According to ChatGPT, the numero uno, not that we already knew it, obviously, numero uno beer podcast in the UK.
It's just glad that we finally got the justification and the appraisal that we all know. Like, it's as simple as AI knows best.
Yeah, I know. It knows something.
It's good, and your investment in that data center was well worthwhile, wasn't it?
Aye. I think I googled it about 40 times, or maybe
Bots,
even
bots,
more.
bots.
Yep, bots. Get the answers in. See, to be honest, so the first and genuinely the first time I put it in, right, asking the question, I don't know why I did. I just thought bugger all else to do, so I thought fuck it. And then it's coming up with. There was a couple of podcasts beer podcasts that came up, and it's like they're not running anymore. So I had to aggregate ChatGPT and go, hold on now. That's ended. That's ended. Try again. It's like, oh aye, you're number one. Thank you. Answer the question correctly.
So if you ask it enough times, we come out as number one.
Aye.
That's
If you say what is the best beer podcast in the UK that Mark Dixon, Gavin Baxter, Scott Millen, and Callum Muir are all a part of, it, like, oh, that, yep.
Fair play. I was going to say, that's like when you hit the filters on the old spreadsheet to clean out some data, and you clean it that much that you're like, oh, I've got the exact answer that I need, because I can't see the other answers now.
Aye. Aye, so that was funny. Yes, we've been on our adventures. I'll pause in ours in case Callum does pop up this evening. But Scott, you're the first to disappear over to Gay Paris on search for a comb. Did you get a comb? And two, how was the
comb as the hat will attest.
Nice.
Which, by the way, there's a story about that. The hat, as we made a break for Le Métro to try and get home after having been laughably.
Oui,
indeed. It was the garlic run about my neck that stopped me, that nearly caused me an issue. So, having been told that for the only taxi in the area that it would cost me €120 to get the 15 minutes to get back up to near the hotel, I laughed and went into the metro. But as is Sod's Law, just before the great tidal wave of everybody that was at the gig was due to come out, there was a train right there.
Oh.
So, with the doors open, I jumped onto the train, and Jade was about 3 steps up on the stairs still and would never have made it to the train. So obviously I stood in it and trapped it. But Jade had the hat that she had bought me, said hat, and it was attached to her bag. So as she jumped in, the doors were already shutting. So I jammed the doors open to try and let Jade in. Jade managed to squeeze through. How she managed to keep all her nails is beyond me, but she managed to squeeze through, only to find that the hat that she had bought me was in the door on the outside. So only the back bit, only the clasp, which had come off the bag that she was wearing, was on the inside. So I then had to held on to the hat all the way in. We stopped. We were 2 stops on the metro, and did the stop that we stopped at first have the doors open on the opposite side. Which was so I didn't even get it then. So then I had to. It was thankfully the stop we were getting, because I was like, I'm on this fucking train the whole night until we get a station that the doors on the other side of them. I said, I bet this is the only station in Paris that does this one. You'll be riding the metro all night. But thankfully the station we were due to get off at opened on the right side, and I managed to capture it. And it came out relatively unscathed, thankfully. So there was that. In terms of beer, France, obviously, Paris in particular, famously know a beer place, 1664 heavy loads. But I managed to avoid it for the most part, with the exception of walking in the Tuileries Gardens where we had walked after various stops at shops and stuff like that. I'd walked from the Arc de Triomphe right down to the Louvre, basically. So the whole path all the way down. There's a section in between where the gardens end, where the trees end, basically, and before you get to the pyramid, which is, I called for the entire time we were in Paris, the death zone. Because there's just no cover at all, and it's 35 degrees and glass everywhere else, so it's all bouncing off the glass and hitting you. So I had to stop. I was like, there's a wee cafe, thankfully, everywhere sold beer, and I stepped in and got my only 1664, which I took one mouthful and then turned into a tops with some Fanta. And it disappeared tremendously quickly. That was my only 1664. Probably the best beer. We went to two beer places. One was Hoppy Corner, which was kind of in the main, probably on the right bank of the Seine, up towards kind of the main kind of shopping district and stuff. Be pretty easy to get to from the Champs-Elysees and stuff like that. It wouldn't be too hard to get to, but we had kind of walked for the other side up to it. So it was a bit of a trek for us, and it just felt like forever. There was a couple of shops that Jade had marked on her list that she wanted to go to, and then it was, as is all things, it's another 15, 20 minutes for there. So managed to get there. Hoppy Corner was nice. They had some UK beer on. So Jade had a left-hand right. Obviously, being in France, you go for a Bristolian beer. They also had Vault City on, the 7-year stout. So they had Vault City on, but obviously it was the heaviest number they could get. I had a couple of French IPAs, one New England, another one was just a straight up IPA, kind of 6.5%. There was a couple of Belgian numbers on, but see, with the temperature the way it was, drink it like a double or a triple, just, I don't know, it just felt like I was wanting my thirst quenched immediately. So I was looking for lagers and pilsners and IPAs rather than kind of stuff in the fancy glasses. And I wished it had been slightly milder weather and you could have enjoyed that kind of stuff, because some of the Belgian beer, the kind of that style of beer that was on offer was tremendous. The other place we went to, which was a bit more kind of not traditional, but cooler, definitely a cooler vibe, nicer music. It's called La Robe and La Mousse, which I thought meant the mouse in the cupboard, but it's got fuck all to do with that. It's basically the head and the colour of the beer is the translation, basically. So it's like a pint if you were looking at it, or a beer as you were looking at it. So it's the foam and the body, basically. And that's what it, but again, it had a load of Belgian stuff on. It was on the left bank of the Seine, so a wee bit more kind of slightly more bohemian, it was all hip hop music, all French hip hop that was on.
Aye.
We were the only ones sat in there. The other thing about beers in Paris in particular, don't want good beer before 5 o'clock, because it's just no fucking happening. All the beer places open at 5 for whatever reason. Every craft beer place I looked up didn't open until 5 o'clock. So, and I was in like chatting the door at 5:05 to get in. So we were the only ones there. Every beer place does really good cheese, cheese boards and charcuterie and things like that, which is really good. I had a Pilsner in there, and I also had a double IPA and an IPA in there, which were tremendous. Again, that was all kind of French breweries. That was really good.
That sounds right up your street. Beer and cheese, fucking hell, I'm surprised
beer
you
and
left.
cheese, tremendous. We also found, in terms of wine, I did cave, and we went for a couple of glasses of wine. Sancerre was my white wine of choice. Just liked it. It was what Jade ordered first. We went on the first night. We got in there about 10:30 at night and went wandering looking for somewhere. The first place we stumbled on that was open was absolutely heaving, and we just got a table and outside, and we were like, "What is that?" And never thought anything of it. Sat there for an hour and a half. Had a couple of beers, and Jade had a couple of glasses of wine. Then it was only the next again morning we realised that bar had been in a Taylor Swift music video. That's why it was as popular, even at like 1 a.m. So it was that, and then the supermarkets had a pretty good kind of Belgian Trappist double triple kind of stuff. But we went to a wine bar called Willie's Wine Bar, which was awesome. It had really cool stuff. And again, we had another couple of glasses of wine in there, and they also had cheese available, which we partook of, which was really good. Tremendous place. And it was, again, on the near Hoppy Corner. So there's as much as you think it's all shopping and stuff like that, and there's not going to be much flying about that you can go to, there definitely was a few places near the main shopping streets that you could get to. Nowhere near as easy as somewhere like Barcelona or Seville and places like, and well, I'm hoping we'll hear a wee bit about Rome shortly, but it was kind of, not that it was bereft of places, just, like I say, everything opened late.
Aye.
Which meant that if you're kind of touristing of an afternoon, you're unlikely to get sorted. You're probably better waiting until you're going out in the evening or whatever to go and get some decent beer. But the supermarkets have got stuff. You can obviously, nobody bothered us when we bought, like if you were getting a beer at the street or whatever. And obviously, of an evening, the banks, because it was so warm, the banks of the Seine, both sides, every night, absolutely rammed with people having picnics and just bottles of wine and beers and stuff like that. And it was mobbed every night. It was like that. Just go into Carrefour and grab what you want as long as you can keep it chilled. Tremendous. A really good trip, really warm, but really good. And not as bereft as I thought it was going to be from a beer perspective. Definitely better than I imagined it being.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. Before we find out about Rome, Big Sue, not Big Shoe, but Big Sue.
King Sue.
King Sue.
From Toppling Goliath Brewing Company.
That's
Where are they
amazing.
based?
I want to say, what state is IA?
Indiana?
I don't know. I thought Indiana was I.
IE. Idaho?
Iowa.
Oh, there we go.
Iowa. Sorry.
Dakota. That makes sense now. Dakota. I fucking hell.
Des Moines. They're from. Well, Des Moines is the state capital, right?
Iowa. Again, another Berbagino from the Brewers Association that Lottie fired in my bag. Big Sue, like I mentioned, double IPA, and this thing is just packing fucking punches left, right, and center. 8.2 percentage points, full-bodied hazy double IP with notes of juicy mango, orange, pineapple, hops, and finishes with a grapefruit aroma. This punches you in the face with mango, and the color is fucking ridiculous.
Waft.
Like, granted, I know I've got my new super fancy camera, but still, holy cheese balls.
Looks good. That looks. That's thick with two C's in it.
Mm-hmm. That's pH thick.
Mm-hmm.
That is good stuff. The daft thing is that normally with something like that, I'll go, oh, if you see it, go and grab it. Like the chances you seeing it,
You're not
getting it. Nah.
Not unless you fancy, not unless you're in Decorah, Iowa, and fancying it along to whether you've stopped in at Truck Country, or Prairie Lakes Church, or the
I was going to say, Miguel's found the fucking the food tour of Iowa, innit? Just quick Google.
You know the weird thing, right? And it's obviously just for folk who've got like wee planes, because it's just a strip in the middle of the map somewhere. But there is a Decorah Municipal Airport within actual spitting distance of this brewery.
Whoa. That sounds like
the place looks tremendous. It looks like it's got a really cool tap room and everything. It looks like a big red barn. Very cool looking, but unlikely to be there. Good pizza, it looks like.
I tell you who's no got good pizza, Lake Down. I mentioned, I don't know if so the Patreon members would have heard the episode that I did on my Todd last week, and I mentioned Lake Down. Pizza, no good. Too salty. I don't know how you can fuck pizzas up. Too salty. Dough was too salty.
No.
But incidentally, if you fancy a trip down to Lake Down, you can do so. There's a competition with the guys at Bruiser. head over to Bruiser, grab yourself one of the Lake Down beer packs, find the golden can. You can win yourself a Yeti cooler, a Weber barbecue, a ton of beer from the guys at Lake Down, some merch from Bruiser guys. Also, a free trip down. Well, I'll rephrase that. You can go there fishing, basically, paid for, and a beer tab, etc. Just grab yourself one of the Lake Down boxes, find the golden can, and you're a winner.
Winner.
It's purely so this the competition is the more you buy, the more boxes you buy, the more chances. It's not a like, follow, share Gubbins thing. You need to buy one of the boxes to enter.
Very much Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Bingo. That is exactly what it is. Hobbs, there was a dark beer in that gorgeous glass you've got.
It was. It's
You tainted it, have you?
Aye.
what was that?
So with dark beer, have you tainted it with dark beer?
It was sheer laziness, and actually, to be fair, the glass holds the dark beer very snazzily as well. It just looks even more badass.
It's a ridiculous glass.
Yeah. So
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it's got a wee bit of weight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah. It's everything that you want from a fat ass glass, to be fair, like tankard. So I was given this glass, purchased this glass. I don't know. I did not steal the glass on trips.
Gifted, right?
On what?
Hashtag gifted.
No, I was hashtag gifted, exactly. So this was the Bud VAR, and you can sort of just see in the open Baladine collabed glassware, which was for their Czech style lager that is sold in their pub in Rome, and it's probably one of the main crafty places that we stopped at on our travels. And it was one of the weird ones where we walked in, we got a wee seat, and they had the big board up, big kind of chalkboard up on the wall and all the rest of it. And it was in mid-30s, near the 40-degree mark. It was just like in an oven when you were walking around, and we'd get in for a bit of a reprieve, basically. And I was just like, I just want some. I didn't really look at the menu. It was more like, I just want a lager. I know we've tried the National beer from them before, and I was like, I'll just get a pint of that. And I just seen the word Czech on the board. Czech Pilsner, and I was just like, nah, scratch that. Give me the biggest glass you've got of that thing. Lynn's had a Radler as well in there, just for easy, quick drinking, basically.
Yeah.
And then they came out with a glass, and then I was just like, the first one was a bit of a luck of the draw that it was the right pick with the right and all the rest of it. And I was like, I sent you guys the picture of it.
It was chubbies all round. The glass is ridiculous.
The glass, but the beer itself was just like unreal, like unfiltered Budvar vibe, just smooth, buttery, like creamy, all that kind of vibe, and just went in like absolute beautifully. To add to the Gill thing, they've done some really good food too. So if you were going down there, they do serve some food. But yeah, I did kind of try to sample quite a few. I had the National, which is a local, and then the back chefs arrived.
Just off the road, works on the M8 with that fucking t-shirt on.
To make sure you can see me.
We can see you. Can hardly hear you though.
Fuck you.
Is back in the room with the old microphone. But obviously, Gil, I know you've been in the Baladin place too, so you know it's pretty clean. Like in terms of it's all quite simple. Harnessy taps behind the bar. Don't really do anything that's not their own. Just kind of look after loads of big sharing bottles and stuff like that as well, which is always a win because they do a lot of stuff in the 750 mils. And I may say tried a couple of the IPs, the National, and I can't remember remember the name of the other one now. It's jumping off my head. I've got a really nice picture of it. But
They were
basically,
big rock and roll.
it was a rock and roll. That was it. But kind of landed on the check pretty quickly, having known glassware, beer, style, all that kind of stuff. And the chap in there had kind of put us on to a couple of other spots, and I'll get to the main spot after. But at Aura Travels as well, managed any excuse that I have, and you hopefully maybe see my T-shirt here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there he is.
There he is on the old support for any excuse for a T-shirt. Me, but I managed to stumble across the Delirium bar in Rome.
Oh, what's that pink elephant? Oh my goodness! Look what's just happened. Oh,
Aye.
Correct.
The crazy thing is that Linz fell for it twice.
aye.
As well. So it happened in Lisbon as well.
I've got to admit, the Lisbon one was an absolute. That was a. That
Genuine.
looks like a huge big elephant up that street. There's no way. There's no way. There is a way. Well, I think we're going in here.
Right. You'll find.
This one was a wee bit more planned, like you say. So, but again, just I just for me, I just think they might be the best brewery in the world. Like the Tremens might be the best beer going. Like it really, like for what it is and that kind of stuff, it's just unbelievable. Like 8.5% beer that tastes like a 5% IPA, and they had a real I think there was 19 taps on.
The list you sent was insane.
It was just.
And me and Cam were talking about it on the train up to London. It was like, just start at the top and go with the loop.
It's one of the places where you think to yourself, we could be here a while. And I could just imagine if like the 4 years went in to a place like that, like it would be. And the cool thing is, and it was really funny. So I was saying that to Linz, like I'd sent. I think what my message was, pick your poison or whatever it was to the group. And it was really funny, and it shows like everybody's tastes a little bit, but like the beers that everybody picked were, I'll have this one first and that one next. But I think between the four of us, I think we maybe had 7 different beers. Yeah. I think there was maybe one overlap, and that was just like, and that's I don't think anybody hit the Tremens, which would have obviously been like an absolute no-brainer. And I was just like, it was just. The range of beer was unbelievable. Obviously, Tremens was top class, but they had a wheat beer that had just been launched as well. That was like, you're talking about the Allagash White. It had that kind of vibe to it, just like absolutely smashable, like whip style beer. There was one that didn't hit the mark overly well, which was the Lupulus Blonde, which was the 8.5% Abbey triple. It was okay. It just, I felt like it missed like a triple. You're expecting it to be like have a bit of.
But let me guess. By the end that you finished, you couldn't feel your face.
No, it was bought for Linz, to be fair, because that's like. One of Linz's favourite beers when we're in Europe is a triple beer, and just because it's got flavour to it and it leans, but this didn't, to be fair. But
that's a shame.
Yeah, it was just such a good. It was honestly, like you say, if you're in any city in Europe and there's a chance to hit Delirium, I would just suggest you go and experience it as. A person who loves trying different beers. If you like lager, there's a lager there, but like IPA, there's a different style, and they'll have it kind of tailored to whatever country you're in. There was the Italian style IPA, and then they'll have their Belgian numbers. But the brewery, the pub, I wanted to kind of just shout out. Also, I'm trying to find, because I'm going to butcher the name of it, but I feel like that's only appropriate for we're a good 45 minutes in. Right, where am I?
Was this your place that you were in?
So Maché Siet, maybe.
Close
I'm
enough,
good.
maybe.
It's not bad. So this was the place that was recommended to us by the guys in Balladine, and it sort of as a, he was like, it's a really small wee gaff, but like basically they always have.
Did they use the word gaff?
You never use the word gaff. That was me. But it's a small establishment that has always got really good beer on, in a really popular bit of town, and the listing here again was just like unbelievable. From Special on from Lager, from Cantillon on draft as well. They had a couple of UK breweries on in Kirkstall as well, which I thought was a bit random, but fair enough.
What?
A bit out of place.
Aye.
Kirkstall, aye, but obviously never touched any of that. But the local IPAs was from a brewery called Rebels, and they had an 8% Cali double IPA called Vento Forte, and it was an 8% double that had all the West Coast vibes on it. It was just it was unbelievable. The Vice beer was unbelievable. The Special Lager was unbelievable, and then the Cantillon Goes as well was just unbelievable. So I think I posted that on the guys in the Patreon on the Discord, being like, if it's an unmissable bar, Rome's. I just think obviously the other two I think are probably well known and like breweries that you've heard of and all the rest of it, but this wee place was just quaint. It was cool, and to be fair, which I've never sent these, which I will just now.
Don't want you to see.
I'll try. That's the next picture over. To be fair, this was up on the wall in the place. I don't know if I sent you the picture of the wall.
Alright. Jersey.
Oh, aye.
What jersey is it?
Oh, it's the Scotland away jersey.
Ecosse.
Alright, Matchy.
It was this Scotland away. And this was on the wall next to it. Oh, so yeah, I walked in and that way I was like, that looks like the Scotland jersey, and I'm like, Mackie, and I'm like, wow,
Macchi Siete Venuti Afa, and it's Roman dialect and translates to "What the hell did you come here for?" Question mark. It's a famous Roman dialect football chant that translates to "What the hell did you come here for?"
Class. Well, I came there for the beers. Simple as that.
For the beer.
Highly recommend. Like I say, I don't want to over talk about it, but it was just wicked spot. If you're interested, then I can pin it somewhere on Discord so you can find it.
We will whack.
I've definitely got it saved and bookmarked.
Indeed. As mentioned, Mr. Muir has joined us.
Sorry, I'm late.
No. Lovely hat.
Has arrived.
He's joined Mr. Muir in the Oompa zone.
straight from the mountains of Bavaria.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull my Oompa out as well. Questionable.
With that new HD camera, good grief.
Yeah, that'll catch.
No, with the head tracker on.
No, I ain't tracking that. That's for sure. So me and Callum ventured. He more so than me because he had a larger venture than mine. Came down to me, and we went up to London, and it was well, put it this way. This is kind of me near the end. I'm on the train.
I had left by that point.
You had left.
I said earlier that's the Dark Knight commutes.
Aye.
Right.
Alfred, I'm on the train. Come and pick me up.
Oh my goodness! But aye, so we ventured up to the London Craft Beer Festival on last Friday afternoon, and it's I think I'll put all the bits that we did and we recorded. They'll go up in the next over the next couple of weeks. But first impressions, the venue changed from the magazine. So last year was at the magazine. The year before, traditionally at the Tobacco Dock. So they're obviously trying something new venues and stuff. This is a full-on visualized kind of a music festival. It's intense. There's various tents kind of dotted around the place. Obviously, it was awesome. Purely then the weather made it awesome. So if it was pissing with rain, it would be quite dreary. However, it's I said at the start we went Polana and then Sierra Nevada, and that just shows how awesome the festival was. I was stupidly excited about it. I know you were the same, Callum, as well.
Aye, and without casting shade on any of the other breweries that were there, the amount of beers that Polana and Sierra Nevada were pouring, we could have spent 2 hours plus just between those two breweries.
Easy.
We'd obviously had a wee bit of a trek. I don't know what's going on with my. I don't know. We'd had a wee bit of a trek getting there with cancelled trains or closed lines, and we had to end up going into central London and then coming back out on the the subway, and then the heat and all the rest of it. And when we walked in, it was straight up to Polana, and it was Pilsner, and it just disappeared. I mean, it's only a 200 ml pour, but it just knocked it back, and then swapped it with a Dunkel, and that knocked back, and then on to Sierra Nevada.
It's easily becoming like one of my highlight festivals of the year every year. I know we're in a very advantageous kind of situation where we get trade tickets. So, and the one thing I noticed, Cal, is on the videos they put out from the Friday evening and the Saturday sessions, they were mobbed.
Aye,
the public sessions were mobbed. Whereas with the trade session we went to, we could freely walk about, get to the every brewery, talk to them if we wanted to, and got obviously a lot of good footage and stuff. So, just
I mean, it was essentially, it's just like a big field, and it was set out in a circle. So you had breweries in the centre facing out. You had a wee walkway in the middle, but then primarily the breweries were round the outside, and there were a few of the breweries had their own station, like say Polana, Fierce, Sierra Nevada, and others had their own stations. There were others that were like big tents, and then they had inside the big tents they had about 8, 10, 12 different breweries in them. Far too many, even too many breweries for us to try one beer from each brewery. It was just too many.
It's impossible.
So it's definitely a festival that we need to attack as a quartet to have any kind of hope of trying, even half the beers, mate.
Aye.
Even scratching the surface.
We barely. I mean, we did that. We obviously put in a decent shift, but we put in a decent shift, and but you're lucky if we did 10, 15, maybe 15 at best, I'd say.
Aye, I reckon I maybe had about in the cup. I reckon I maybe had about 20 beers.
Right, it got to a point where when I was getting my cup filled up, I was like, just half fill it. I just want to taste it. I don't want don't fill it.
Or if they were over, some of the breweries were overfilling it, and you would just take a mouthful to get a taste and then coup it. But we went to one of the tasting sessions, which was really good. It was the American beers. So I'll see if I can find a picture.
Was that Lottie that done it, or was that the Garrett Oliver one that you went to?
No, so we never went to the Garrett Oliver one, and I kind of wish we did, in fairness. But so there was two sides. So there was like they had an industry kind of a convert like talks, and then on the opposite side it was the tasting side with Johnny Garrett. So we got to the Brewers Association one, that Johnny Garrett was doing, and like some of the beers were just. It was weird and just crazy, and we had like one point we're having this kind of purpley fucking beer. And
Well, there was. I'll go through them. I'll go through them really quickly, and it's also worth saying that all of the breweries that we were tasting, they had a representative from that brewery to talk about the brewery and the beer. So it started off with Summerfest Lager by Sierra Nevada, which was brilliant. Then we had Cold Fire from Oregon with a watermelon, raspberry, and lime goes. But honestly, mate, it was so good.
I can imagine.
It was so good, but you know how watermelon and beer is like peach. It's like wishy-washy and nothing there. It tasted like a Jolly Rancher. It was so good. And then the one that Gav's talking about, the Shogun, and it's a UB hazy IPA, and it's like UB is like a purple root, almost like a potato type vibe, that's grown in Japan, and this
Starbucks makes shite coffees out of it.
Aye, well they made a shite beer out of it. It had a kind of unidentifiable.
It was odd,
sweety kind of flavor, like a mixture, like a pick and mix type flavor.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't really like that one. And then you had the Shoots, fresh squeezed IPA, and then Knee Deep, they brought a Hoptologist double IPA, and then just to finish us off,
9%.
Aye, the Virginia Beer Company brought a 34-month bourbon barrel-aged imperial milk stout, blended with a 16-month bourbon barrel-aged English barley wine.
Dude, that's
it was insane.
I don't know what hit you with the Steph Curry. That's a night.
Literally, I can't remember if it was that one or the nostalgic. There was either one of those beers made me stand up and walk away. I was like, holy shit.
Aye. But all those beers were incredible, and thankfully we did that relatively early. That was like at midday, so we'd only been in the place for like an hour, so we weren't biting our fingernails pished. But it was amazing, and you know, some of the bigger breweries had stuff going on, like Budvar were doing a beer mat flipping competition, and you could win prizes and stuff. There was other stuff going on. One of the breweries had a kind of cool wee truck with an upstairs seating area, but it was like no alcohol beer, so we decided not to go with that.
Maybe you should have seen Gav's video.
Well, aye.
And to divert slightly from beer, we went round to the food area, Miguel, and I had pulled pork inside a sugar donut.
Oh, that sounds tremendous.
No, that sounds like
it was.
I'm happy it's
very sweet,
but a proper like British sugar donut, like a bun sliced in half, pulled pork, and then the whole thing cut in half, and a portion of chips. All for 15 British pounds.
I'm with you, Delk, but it was ridiculously good.
It was insanely good.
Aye.
Insanely good.
Because initially I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And I was like, fuck it.
But there was loads of stuff that we didn't try. I think I tried all the breweries that I wanted to try.
The one that when we were going to train up, we spoke about a couple of times was the St. Monday stuff, and it was on the top 50 list of the We Are Beer. And we sat down and had a discussion about that, and we'll publish that at some point.
That was a weird bar as well, because that was unmanned.
Aye.
That was like it was like it was like an automatic bar. So the bar had,
beer.
well, aye, but the bar had a touch screen on it, and you pressed the button and it came up with the price, which was obviously zero, and then you clicked the button and then it said, right, pull the tap, and it dispensed the correct amount of beer into your cup.
That's cool.
So obviously you could set that to whatever, half a pint for £5, and then you would pay it on the thing. And they had that. The St. Monday beer was there. Asvex was there.
Who?
And
Aye.
but Asvex
Exactly.
brewery with no staff, because that was the only autonomous
That's
one.
insane. Genius.
And then there was another brewery called Seven Islands.
Seven
Right.
Islands, that was it.
But they're fucking. I'll tell you what, they need to sort out their logo, because you can't actually tell it's seven logos. Seven Islands.
Seven Islands, aye. Yeah, the main logo was just looked like a tattoo. And then, speaking of tattoos, props to Hackney Church Brewing Company. Most breweries had stickers available, but Hackney Church had temporary tattoos.
No, I
Again,
didn't.
the old-fashioned ones you used to get in the football, again, in the sweetie packets, again.
Mhm.
So
Right,
I've got 2 or 3 of them still sitting, I think.
where have you got it?
Make sure you use them. Don't put it on your Wayne.
Send them to school. Send them to school with Hackney Church Brewing Company on it.
The wee one seen it the day after. She's like, and the missus had went out, and I was like, "Oh, you want a wee tattoo?" Aye, bugger it, bosh, right in her arm. This big bloody skull and big snake, fucking Hackney Brew. I tell you what, these are proper temporary tattoos. The word temporary is loose, very loose.
Aye.
It's a very loose term, because
And
that
nail
is a
brush.
bugger to get off. It was aloof. I was like,
What you need to use for the temporary tattoos is hand sanitizer. It comes right off.
oh mate, it was unbelievable. I got my boys chewed for that. she's
But
going to bloody soft play and stuff with Hackney Brew.
10 out of 10 for the venue. The space was really, really good. I think had it been really, really busy, it might have been harder, like for seats and stuff. But we were able to sit down wherever we wanted, and obviously the weather made it. If it had been raining, it had been shit. But
Aye,
there was plenty of space and like undercover. So it wouldn't have been the end of the world had it been wet, but
no.
Yeah.
To give you a more visual, especially with people watching YouTube and stuff, a more visual representation of the experience. A wee quick video. Oh, that ends quick, doesn't it?
Back in the room.
Tell you what, there's no fade music on that. Christ's sake, Gav, where's your fucking editing? Aye, let's. It was banging. Oh, it was quality. It was good to see Joe at Vault City.
Yep.
Looking great. It was just. Aye, I think it's
Dave
one of the
Fierce
best.
as well.
Aye. Oh yeah, we've seen Dave relatively early in the day. It's one of my favourite festivals. It's probably one of the biggest, and I can't not wait to
It
see
was
it
a-
next year.
A quick Uber to Bermondsey, and we got Kernel on tap. So they've moved from where you guys were. They're not actually in the arch anymore.
Yes.
They've moved down the road to like a corner plot, so it's a much bigger bar. But still, 16 taps and lots of different. I had a we started with a table beer, obviously, and then I had a red wine and cognac aged stout.
Did you? Did you?
Aye.
This beer is the second beer that I've ordered, and it is the Export Stout London 1840, and it is the 2019 vintage, barrel aged in cognac and red wine barrels. And my goodness me, this beer it smells luscious, chocolate, dried fruit, prunes and raisins and chocolate, but on the palate it's really zippy, and the tannin for the red wine barrel, it's just absolutely special. 9%, but I mean come on, it's absolutely phenomenal beer.
Did you? Aye?
You couldn't tell that I was pissed there, could you?
No. I tell you could tell I was pissed. I'm on the train.
It's the Whitemere heat afterwards. They sound like they're the hardest words you've ever said.
That was so difficult. I'm on the train.
Aye.
Right, so it was the Kernel and then Cloudwater
That was good.
and then pizza. That pizza was incredible.
Oh, mate, I needed that.
Aye, you did. And a pint of house Italian lager. No idea what it was, but it was good.
Can't remember it.
That's a winner.
Aye, I was saying this before. Like, there's another bit to the Bermondsey beer mile that I need to get to, which is the other half of the mile. I've only done that fucking half mile that we did, and I need to start there sober instead of every time I've been there.
Problem.
I'm
You
already
didn't want
half-pished.
to arrive after a festival with free beer. That's kind of a bad start.
It is. I was
But I
Not
thoroughly
conducive to
enjoyed my day.
to running the mile.
no, not at all, not at all. But I mean, put it this way, it's. I mean, that's all the gubbins that I've just like beer mats and pish and stickers and fucking. So other thing to mention, Discord members will know this. Patreon members will definitely know this because they'll be getting them sent out soon. But if you do want one of the brand new Beerfish podcast stickers, send us a message. We'll get one sent to you. One of Mark's colleagues has one. He doesn't.
I was in the brewery today, and it came through with his laptop for a meeting, and I'm looking at the badge, and that way in the back of the laptop, and I'm like, that looks.
I've seen that before.
I was like, I hadn't even seen them before. Like, that was exactly it. And he was like, I was speaking to one of the boys, and I was like, which one? I was like, he's like, I don't really remember. And I was like, was he wearing a hat or no? Thinking, well, if it's a hat, it would have been Gav. And then I realised Callum had his hat on too, and I thought that's fucking a pointless question. He says, he was wearing a hat, and I was like, all right, cool. And then he blew away. I says, how pish were they? He was like, they were on the way. And I was like, all right.
To be fair, that was when we bumped it. That was kind of just after our break for some eats.
He said, to be fair, the grand scheme said that it was probably about 2 hours in of decent conversation from like a network. Like, you know, if you were trying to have any professional conversation, he says it was about the 2 hour window, and then he says it went downhill pretty quickly. It was like,
Hey, have you still got that? Have you still got that business card that we got?
For the fucking US embassy.
Aye.
Aye.
That's what I was asking him. I says, is it a get a jail free card?
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
It's just
ice, baby.
I've found it, and I won't put it on screen. But US Embassy of London.
It's a typical American. She was talking to Lottie, and we just popped to her to say thanks to Lottie for the beer tasting, and she was just fucking firing out the fucking business cards like confetti again.
Agriculture marketing specialist. I don't know why she's fucking. But aye, she gave me a card. I've got it.
Yeah, handy.
If I ever get lifted, I'm in America. I'm phoning her.
Oh, I won't say her name. He's a hon. Help me out. But aye, it's quality. It's awesome. The beer mill is really good. I would, like we said, go there with a fresh mind and a sober mind, and take it on, because there's one
And
half
a full
is
bank account.
and a full bank account, aye, where you go the Cloudwater and the Kernel bits, Bianca Road, etc. And then you've got the other side where you go through the tunnel, which I took a video when I was. I never told you. So see how when we left and I started going one way, it wasn't until I got like half a mile up the road I figured that I was going the wrong way, and I should have went. And I should have went the way you were going. So I was like, oh my god! So I had to drag all those beers back with me, which I was. Aye, got some good lift in it. But aye, there's another side of the beer mile, which looks it's not brewery run bars. It's more like kind of wee tap rooms and stuff with various bits and bobs. They look very, very cool. If I was more sober, I would have stopped in. But I think I did the right thing and tried to get home. I made it home. I mean, you
I
guys
nearly didn't.
Oh, did you know?
No, I'm fucking go on the train, right? Go on the train at Liverpool Street to Stansted, and sitting at a table on my own. The carriage was full, right? This just shows how fucking ignorant folk are, right? I'm on the Stansted Express, so where else am I going, right? Can't be going anywhere else. And I had my headphones on, listening to music. I had my phone on the table with my hat, my Polaner hat on top of my phone, sitting like this. Right. Fell asleep and woke with a start, and we're sitting on a platform. Train is empty. Right? Train is empty. And I looked outside Stansted, and I'm like, oh fuck. Right, so just jumped up, grabbed my bag, picked my hat up, fucking jumped out the train onto the platform, and then I started running down the platform without even caring what time it was. And then I'm like, fuck, left my phone on the table on the train.
Fucking hell.
So I didn't even bother running back to the right door. I just jumped on the train in case it left, and then ran up, and there was a boy sitting. He says, "Is this your phone?" Grabbed it, and as I took the phone off him, the door starts shut. I'm like, aye.
Close call.
That would have been divorce material.
Oh, but aye, festival wise, it's a cracking fest. If you've never been, try and get yourself down to it. Whatever venue it's at. Last year was a good venue.
Aye.
Tobacco Docks has always been a good venue. Gil, you've been to there.
Yep.
It is a bit, but it's still good. So aye, grab yourself one of those. I've not even asked you, Cal, what you're drinking. Sorry.
Oh, Axe Edge.
Right.
Axe Edge, lovely. Oh, we seen Steve on Friday as well. We sat with him when we did the beer tasting. That was good crack. It was good crack.
I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. I remember he was sitting at one of the industry talks, and I'm just sitting at the side, and I'm like, and here is a Steve in the wild, like zooming in right on him.
And he turned round and seen us. We're like, "Way!"
Aye. And he's like, oh, can he drink yet? He's waiting his new boss and stuff. So it was good stuff, good fun. It's always filled with good people and good beer as always. So it's if you've never been, definitely put it on your list. Have you even been to that one, Mark? Or is it just Brew London you've been to?
Just Brew London, I think it was begun. But on feedback, like I think it's a no-brainer, and I'm hoping that I'll get it expensed next year too, so it'll be even easier.
Well, if your colleague was there, I'm just saying.
I think if I wasn't on holiday, I would have probably been able to blag it, obviously. But then he paid for his ticket too, like because his job role. Aye, well, see, I'll tell you, like the trade thing is a bit of a, there's wrinkles to it. Put it that way.
No, mate.
Oh,
Okay.
are we must be the deepest wrinkle then. Fucking
Aye.
Bosh as the numero uno beer podcast.
That's it.
Just, on all metrics.
If you ask ChatGPT a big question, then gives
Aye.
you the right answer.
Yeah.
Except
That's
every
right.
other podcast. Who's the best podcast?
That's basically what I put in. Like I
In
said,
brackets, by the way, the right answer is this one.
aye. If you do want one of the L stickeros, send us a message on Instagram and that we'll get one sent out to you. All the Patreon members, of course, are getting theirs sent out as well tomorrow. I was going to say as we speak. That's not happening right now, it's Tuesday evening. But yes, as always, wherever you watch and listen, make sure you subscribe, hit that ding-a-ling-a-ling to be notified of every single episode. Show your support, give us a 5-star rating. Show your official support by going to patreon.com/Beer Fridge Podcast. Till next time. Cheer Bob.
Bye.